Good morning everybody, this is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It's April the 7th and we're looking at first book of Samuel chapter 13. Now Saul had reigned for about 1 year, and in the second year Saul chose about 3,000 men of Israel. 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash in Mount Bethel, and the rest, 1,000, were with Jonathan in Gibeah. Now Jonathan was the son of Saul, and Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was in Gibeah, and the Philistines heard it, and Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, "Let the Hebrews hear." And all Israel heard that Saul had smitten the garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also was had as an abomination with the Philistines, and the people were called together after Saul to Gilgal. The Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen, and people as many as the sand on the seashore for number. And they came up and they pitched in Michmash toward eastward of Bethaven. When the children of Israel saw that they were in a strait because the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and thickets and rocks and high places and in pitch, and some of them slipped over Jordan into the land of Gad. For Saul was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. I'm not surprised. They were hugely outnumbered. He stayed there for 10 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed him, for Samuel had not come to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. When Saul realized that Samuel hadn't come, he said, "Bring hither a burnt offering for me and peace offerings," and he offered the burnt offering. Now we need to remember that there were three offices in Israel. There was the prophets, the priests, and the kings. And the priests were not allowed to take the king's office, and the kings were not allowed to take the priest's office. So when Saul offered this burnt offering to the Lord, it was something that was very wrong. Immediately when the offering was complete, Samuel came and said to Saul, "What have you done?" He says, and Saul says, "Well, I saw the people scattered and you hadn't come." And the Lord said to Saul through Samuel, "You have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded you. For now would the Lord have established your kingdom forever. But now thy kingdom will not continue. The Lord hath sought for a man after his own heart. The Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee." Samuel arose and went to Gilgal, unto Gibeah of Benjamin, and Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men. Now, the situation in Israel was quite dire. The Philistines had arranged things in such a way that there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel. The Philistines said, "Lest the Hebrews make swords or spears." But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his share, his cutler, his axe or his mattock. They had no file in Israel. There was nothing hard enough to sharpen these weapons of war, or even weapons of the harvest. And in that time the children of Israel did not have a sword or a spear among them, among all the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. You see, the Philistines had, as it were, cornered the market on weaponry, and they had forbidden Israel to have these tools, and therefore they were unarmed. Now in chapter 14 we have a wonderful thing. Jonathan, the son of Saul, said unto the young man that bare his armour, he says, come on, let's go over to the Philistines' garrison, which is on the other side. But he didn't tell his father. And Saul tarried in the uttermost parts of Gibeah under the pomegranate tree. And they went down, and when they drew near to the camp, Jonathan said to the young man that bared his armour, he said, come on, let's go over to the garrison of these uncircumcised. It may be that the Lord will work for us, for there is no restraint to the Lord to save by many or by few. Now this is my password for today. It's verse 6 of the 2nd chapter. What Jonathan is saying is this, is that the Lord is able to save us by just a few of us. He doesn't need great, huge armies to save the children of Israel. I don't know which is braver. Was it Jonathan or was his armour bearer? I think probably his armour bearer was the one who was the bravest, because it was Jonathan that had the faith in God. And his armour bearer said to him, do all that is in your heart. Turn, behold, I am with thee according to thy heart. Whatever you decide to do, he says, I'm with you. I expect he was thinking, let's die together. Then said Jonathan, behold, we will pass over unto these men, and we will discover ourselves unto them. And if they say to us, tarry until we come to you, then we will stand in our place, and we will not go up to them. But if they say, come unto us, then we will go up, because the Lord will have delivered them into our hands. And this will be the sign unto us that God is going to give us victory. So they went up, and the two of them, and they scrambled on their hands and knees up over the steep rocks into the Philistine camp. And when the Philistines saw them coming, they said, oh look, the Hebrews have come out of their holes where they've hid themselves. They've come out of their rabbit holes. And the men of the garrison answered Jonathan and his armour bearer and said, come up to us, and we will show you something. And Jonathan said to his armour bearer, come up after me, for the Lord has delivered them into the hands of Israel. And Jonathan climbed up on his hands and knees, and his armour bearer after him, and they fell before Jonathan, and his armour bearer slew after him. And after that slaughter which Jonathan and his armour bearer made, there was about 20 men that they killed, wherein it was within an area about half an acre. And there was a trembling in the host, in the field, and among all the people, and the garrison and the spoilers, they also trembled, and the earth quaked. So it was a very great trembling. Imagine that. Even the earth itself quaked at the victory of Jonathan. He was a young man, the son of Saul, who was going to put himself into harm's way in front of the Philistines, and God was going to bring a great victory. This is a wonderful passage. I look forward to speaking to you again today. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye for now.